right, quiet on the set.
All right, gotcha.
This weekend SEC football promo. Take two. Hey there, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. It's your guy, Mr. Fingaz, coming to you live from Zagnif Central.
Hey, and I'm Collin P., your brother from another. What it is, showbiz?
I will tell you what it is, showbiz. You guys, welcome to this week's edition of This Week in SEC Football. But before we get started, do us a little favor. If you're watching us on the YouTube, go ahead and hit the like and subscribe button if you have not done so already. We appreciate you much. And if you want to be a contributor to the show, a little something to help the cause, right down there in the bottom, in the lower third, in the crawl, rolling across your screen is the address for our Patreon page. We got some great perks for those of you that are contributors and regular viewers of the show, because we appreciate you so very, very much. So, Collin, my man, I think it's time to get this show started. What you say?
My man, let's lay the hammer down.
Oh, you know we gonna do something before two something. Club Shay coming right at you right after this. Oh, hello, ladies, gentlemen, boys, girls.
What Bama does, what Bama do. They were giving Alabama like Alabama was this. If Alabama didn't lose their two stars.
Did not show up that day, or was it?
You watch the same
It's offense more like I've noticed it's more of a passing.
Hey, who knows? It might have been, might have not been. Who knows? But then again, that's what I call it football. I mean,
oh man, that's definitely going on the blooper reel.
When you do that voice, I think of Norbert. Oh my God, we have a dandelion encrusted rib.
Hello, ladies, gentlemen, boys, girls. How's everybody doing? How are you doing? And you right down there in the front row, how you doing? Welcome to this week's episode of This Week in SEC Football. I am the man with the plan, coming to you from Zagnif Central in the heart of Oklahoma City. Mr. Fingaz in that fella right there, that handsome devil right there, the brother from another, the sexy mother Hubbard, the ace of bass in the place, in your face. And the bass goes like, I'm talking about that good bass to get you going in the club. It's got all the strobe lights and everything going on, and the phone party like they used to have in the mega clubs in DC is the brother from another. I did all of that already. Collin P. from the DMV. What's going on, baby boy? What's good with you, man?
What it is, showbiz. I'm doing good, man. I've had a pretty busy week myself, man. I put a little bit of OT. Usually have a Sunday off when I don't have to be, man. So I decided to work a little bit of OT. So didn't have a day off this weekend. I'm kind of struggling. I had to work today. So I'm doing good. How about you, man?
Oh, man. Yeah, no time off, none. Hey, look, we already getting love in the comment section. There it is right there. Hey, man, we appreciate you. Thank you, sir. Appreciate you. Sean Spencer, one half of the godparents of the Let's Talk Football. Look at that. You guys are officially godparents of the godparents. You like the godfather. Janae's like the godmother. You got to do this. You do this for your family. You do this for love. You do this for the family. You do this for your friends. Leave the gun, take the cannoli. Okay? Anyway, Sean Spencer, appreciate you being on, man. The dude is in everything. He's been on here. He's been on. I hear tell he's got a guest appearance coming up on NFL Sundays. The one on Fox. He's gonna be like the guy that pops up like they're replacing Jay Glazer with him. He's gonna give his commentary and do his finger point thing and talk about the race being given to the swift and the battle to the strong. So we appreciate you guys being here today. A lot of stuff going on, man. A lot of stuff going on. We continuing our series this week. We will be getting into Texas A&M, like you see down there at the crawl at the bottom of the screen. Also, if you want some of this cool gear, like this Zagnif apparel hat right here, hit the QR code in the bottom right-hand corner right there, up underneath Collin. Right there, he's pointing at. Visit the website, get yourself some stuff. The sweepstakes is over. Oh, snap. I'm supposed to announce the sweepstakes winner today. I'm gonna have to draw up some slips and let people know who won the sweepstakes because we wound up having three people. Three. It was just one person that was entered up until the very last 36 hours that I had two more people jump in and buy some stuff.
Oh,
So
nice.
I gotta put some, so when I run my first commercial break, I gotta rip up some slips and put them in a hat and pull the names out of a hat. So one lucky winner today will be winning a free top and a free bottom courtesy of Zagnif Apparel. So you guys stay tuned for that as well. We will be getting into Texas A&M, but first first things first, let's just go ahead and get into news and updates. Now, there isn't a whole lot coming out of camp this week for the team that we're talking about, so we're not really going to get into that. But this is the big news story that broke. It broke last night, rolling over into this morning. The wide receivers coach for the University of Oklahoma, and for those of you right now watching this going, I thought this was the SEC show. We are starting to cover them now so that by the
Mm-hmm.
time they come into the conference, we've been covering them for a couple of years. We've got the background, you know the history, you know what's going on with the program. Cale Gundy, and I was calling him Cale Van Gundy all day. Cale Gundy uh, resigned out of nowhere, and everybody was kind of caught off guard. Well, just a little backstory behind this. Apparently, they were having a wide receivers. They were having a meeting with the wide receivers. He was talking to the fellas, and he noticed that one of the guys was uh, was on his iPad, and apparently he was, listening to some music, and the guy started reciting the lyrics. And the coach grabbed the iPad to look at it, and he started reciting. He started to recite what the player was reciting, and he said a word, a particular word, a particular set of words, as Brian Mills would say,
Yeah.
that would be inappropriate for any member of the coaching staff, but particularly, let's just say there was, supposedly it was a racial slur. He supposedly dropped an N bomb.
Mm.
Uh, I'm pretty sure he had to kind of get ahead of it. He had a sit down talk with Coach Venables. Like, I have no details about what happened behind the scenes because this is still so fresh.
Yeah.
And the school has issued a statement, the program has issued a statement, and he's issued a statement, and they're expecting that we don't know if the player in question is going to issue a statement, but there's not a whole lot of background around it. Um, Best educated guess is he had a talk with coach, and coach told him, now what coach did say is that they do hold their everyone to a higher standard, most of all the members of the coaching staff.
Yeah.
So that, if that tells you anything at all, if you got a half a brain in your head, you know what that tells you. So that kind of thing is not to be tolerated. But he got out ahead of it. He issued a statement. He gave his side of the story. I think he's just trying to get ahead of it. I'm sure there's more to that story than what we know.
Yeah.
But
I was gonna ask that did somebody actually, I guess so to speak, turn him in or turn him over to like tell that he did it, or it was on video or audio. I didn't get to read it too much, but like you said, I think probably he kind of did it in kind of like a kind of a I messed up, so I don't know what happened though. But
yeah,
just kind of wondering.
yeah, and a lot of people have already stepped up and have offered great, wonderful, glowing things to say about Coach Gundy. He's been basically a pillar of the community. He's been a part of the team since 1999. So he's been there since 1999. That's
Yeah.
23 years he's been with that program.
Yeah.
Then of course his brother Mike down coaching in OSU. So, a mainstay in the Oklahoma college football community. And
Yeah.
basically he's resigned. So that's all we have on that. That is literally all the news we have on it. I was listening to this story on the radio, in the car, on the way home, and nobody had any more information other than that. But that is the big hoopla in college football right now. The big thing is, how does it affect recruiting? Because you got guys, you have some guys that commit to a team, to a program, and then you have some guys that commit to a coach, and a lot
Yeah.
of guys that commit to a coach. So how does that affect their wide receiver program? So we'll see what goes on with that. We shall see. What do you? I'm coming to you. What are your thoughts on this, sir?
Well, I mean, it's always tough. I mean, it's all about the climate we live in as a world today. I mean, you've got to. I guess my question is, everybody messes up, right? I mean, but this is something that's been around for some time now that that you're going to get. I mean, it's you're not supposed to do it, and you shouldn't do it at all. You know what I mean? And it's should be common sense, even if you're reciting lyrics or that kind of stuff. People are going to take it a certain way. So the best judgment is to use your best judgment and not even get even close to anything around that. If you're in, I mean, even as a person, but even more in if you're in that kind of nation spotlight, in the college football. It just surprises me how people like players. I mean, players and coaches now are putting themselves in that position. I mean, it surprises me how people don't know, or have that kind of common sense or that moral stance, on these kinds of things. But there's context. I mean, if he was reciting a lyric, I mean, there's people can take that different ways, but at the same point, you know, shouldn't say it all. But yeah,
Right.
to your point. I mean, yeah, it's probably going to have some kind of effect, but I mean, I don't know how severe, but I mean, what do you think? I mean, I think the players are going to play for him. I mean, it just depends on what were their, I guess, feelings toward him doing that. Were they? We weren't in the locker room, or we weren't there. So I mean, were they joining in with him, or I mean, were the people upset, offended? I mean,
Like I said, there's been no
those are
further
questions. So,
information that is they've
yeah,
been kind of, OU's been a little tight-lipped about it, and I don't know if they're tight-lipped about it or they're still trying to scramble to figure out what to do or what to say because of the fact that it just came about so abruptly. I
yeah,
mean, it
yeah,
was just everything was fine. We went to bed on Sunday night, everything was cool. Sunday morning, we
yeah.
woke up to Kale Gundy resignation. Like what? What happened?
Yeah.
So, uh, I will say this: there are, there's a lot of sayings that float around. We talked about. I went in one time a month or so ago on the best thing since sliced bread, but another uh, saying that floats around is to whom much is given, much is required. So
Mm,
by that, using this situation in the context of that phrase, if you are a person in a position of authority, I'm not dogging the coach, mind you, but if you're a person in the position of authority, you're whether you're a position coach, whether you're the head coach, whether you're the AD, whether you're one of the instructors, they're academic instructors or tutor or whatever, there is a certain, there's certain things. Do you understand what I'm saying? If I were to be a professor teaching a class on early 2000s hip hop and I were to refer to the lyrics and read them off, there would be a point at which I would get to a word and go, there's a word here. Those of you that
right.
are familiar know what goes in there. I
Yeah.
am not going to repeat that lyric. You
Right.
understand what I'm saying? Or
Absolutely. Yep.
even better, in this particular climate, because we don't really know what's going to set somebody off, you just don't bring it up at all whatsoever, or you pull that guy to the
Exactly.
side and you discuss it with him. Um, I do realize sometimes folks get caught off guard and there's a knee jerk reaction. We don't know. There'll be. I don't know if we'll ever really know 100% what happened. Somebody's going to leak it somewhere. We'll find out. But right now, that's all we've got. Player not paying
Yeah. And
attention. Player not paying attention. He was listening to or reading off something on his iPad, and the coach read off what it was that was on his iPad, and it had to have been a racial slur because it specifically in his statement he said a certain word that no one should use and I never
yeah.
use. So we
Yeah.
know what that means. We know
Yep.
exactly what that means.
Yep.
Then again, who knows? It might not have been that. It might have been something related to the community. It may have been something related to the community as well, the LGBTQ community. We don't know. All we
Right.
know is something was said that shouldn't have been said, and he resigned as a result.
Yeah.
I think he
Nowadays, it
got
doesn't even
ahead of it
matter.
because he
It
figured
doesn't
he
even
was
matter
going to.
context anymore. Like it doesn't
Yeah,
even matter context in jest or whatever. How you ever meant it, people are going to take it however they want to, and like you said, it's better off to not even do it. I mean, from a
right,
moral standpoint and a professional standpoint. I mean, why would you even
right,
risk it? You know?
and especially, and you hit it right on the head in a professional setting like
Yeah.
that. Granted, these are, and also you are a mentor to
Yeah.
50, 60, 60 guys, 60, 70 guys you have to be that you had to be the example for these young men. They talk about when the program say we're not just training athletes, we're building men. I mean, we do understand, I understand locker room talk as much as the next
Yeah.
guy. I played sports. I was in the
Oh yeah.
military. I've hung out at karaoke. You've seen the stuff that people talk about when they're just hanging around.
Yeah.
But then there comes a point where if you're in a position over those folks, then you kind of got to set the tone. You understand? So we'll see. I'm not dogging Kel Gundy. I was not there. I don't know what happened. All we
Yeah.
know is that he said something that he feels in his statement, he feels that he shouldn't have said. And as a result, he resigned. There will be more that will come out with this as time passes.
Yeah.
So us take a look at some of these comments here. Sean is always on it. I think that's in reference to the ESPN guest slot. Uh, there was a question he did ask if we've been following the mini camp for our teams. You mean for Georgia specifically, or for SEC teams? Well, it's an SEC show. I know what he means. Yes, sir. We have been following them, but there's news out there. There's news out there, but we've got so much to fit in that we've kind of been touching on a lot of stuff. To, we've been kind of touching on a general helping of some of everything. It's like going to the buffet. You know what the main course is you want to eat. Like my thing when I go to Golden Corral, I gotta get it fresh though, is the fried chicken. So I want to eat all the fried chicken, but I also want a little bit of this and a little bit of that. So I take a little bit of stuff, and then by the time I get to the chicken, I'm maybe only able to eat one piece. But wow, heck of an analogy. So yeah, but yes, we do follow the camps. Actually, I do have some camp news that I got that's indirectly or actually directly indirectly, does that even make sense, related to Texas A&M and the quarterbacks and all of that stuff. So we do follow those. So anyway, we're gonna right here is a good place. You know what, I think right here is an excellent place to take a pause for the cause and have one of our sponsors. We're gonna always happens to me right at the 20-minute mark. All of a sudden, I can't talk. We're gonna take a pause for the cause, ladies and gentlemen, and we'll hear from one of our sponsors, and we will be right back. Don't go far. I keep forgetting how short that ad is, man. I was trying to write these names on this paper and tear them up. That's a very short ad, but that is our guy, Sid Swinton, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. 1/3 of Sunday. I'm sorry. Let's talk football in the mornings, which is now Let's Talk Fantasy Football on Sunday mornings, starring himself. I'm sorry. The Let's Talk Football in the mornings was him, his wife, and Sean,
Yeah,
and that
Sean.
has
Yeah.
been replaced with Let's Talk Fantasy Football, which is Sid, Ash, and our boy David Wright. They are talking. I mean, everything. They lay everything on the table. I watched the show, man. There was nothing. The strategies. I played fantasy football once. I've shared this story before. I played fantasy football one time,
Mm.
and I did not. I was not ready. No, I wasn't ready. I wasn't
You know, good.
ready. I
Uh,
didn't understand all the intricacies of the drafting and why you draft where and paying attention and QBR and
yeah,
points per
I'm usually in
game
like
and
2 to 3 leagues. I mean, and I've kind of taken a break a little bit, but man, these guys are in like what it was Sid. I think Sid said he's like 8, 9 leagues. And like, how do you keep up with that? I mean, like, you got to be
I
spot
think
on to pick up people, you know?
I think they for the most part it looks like they seem to be using the same app, or at least for multiple of their leagues they use the same app.
Yeah.
Because I've watched the shows and it seems to be kind of the same platform. So there we go. We got our names in the hat. I will reveal those in just a bit. We'll get to the drawing a little bit later in the show. Thank you all, by the way, for that. Zagnif Apparel, like I said, zagnifappareldesign.com. You now no longer have to use the link down there in the bottom, but you can use that. It will still take you to it, or you can hit the QR code. We've got hats, we've got shirts, we've got joggers and leggings and yoga shorts, and we've even got a Chuck Taylor styled high top. I won't call them Chuck Taylors, but they look like Chuck Taylors. They did not Chuck Taylors, but they look like Chuck Taylors. We've got jackets, we've got toboggans or skull caps or whatever you want to call them, and they're
Oh yeah.
embroidered. They're very nice. So hoodies. Go on over there and grab yourself a little something. You won't be sorry. I guarantee you. We're starting to, things are starting to pick up a little bit. Hopefully, they'll pick up to the point where we start to come out on top with that. So anyway, keeping this thing moving. Today's team, like I mentioned earlier, today's team is none other than the Aggies of Texas A&M out of College Station. Jimbo Fisher back. Jimbo Fisher is back. The whole sheboingy with Jimbo and the whole thing with Nick Saban and just the trash talk that goes back and forth. But I'm gonna come to you first, sir, and I'm gonna ask you just a generic question. How do you think that they're gonna fare this year? That's where we're gonna start, and then we're gonna start digging and getting into it.
Uh, I don't know. It kind of you're muted.
Not talking. I'm not talking. I wasn't
Okay.
talking.
All right.
I was
My
just
bad.
sitting. I was just sitting here. You muted. I'm not talking. What's going on?
Oh, you had a little delay. My bad. My bad. So how they fare? I mean, honestly with you, the amount of noise and that Jimbo's been talking, and what they've been doing in the transfer portal and all that kind of stuff. I mean, they need to fare pretty well in my eyes, but I don't know. They last year, I think they were going to be as good as they were last year. I mean, probably better. Will they beat Bama again? I don't know. Um, I think they're going to be second in the West. I don't think Arkansas will be second in the West. I think they'll be second in the SEC West.
So you putting Texas A&M over Arkansas?
Yeah.
And I mean, I realize Ole Miss doesn't have Matt Corral, but you still think they're going to finish second this year?
Yeah.
You hesitated. You was like, yeah. But I mean,
We got a
they
delay,
have they,
man.
they have recruited they have recruited very, very well. I mean, prior to by the time signing day was done and they were getting all the commitments, they were the number one ranked team
Yeah.
for recruiting. They're still ranked, I believe, in the top 10 in recruiting. I personally do not get it twisted. It is great news to have. It's great to know who's coming in, who's going out, blah, blah, blah. My thing is, what happens when it becomes pad on pad? I know that might not necessarily be conducive to having a lot of material as a sports analyst and a podcaster.
Yeah.
It's just that you understand what I'm saying. It's just
Oh
like
yeah.
Jacob Eason was supposed to be was a 5-star, and then he got
It's,
hurt,
yeah.
and
I mean, what
then
kind of
Jake
weight do
from
you?
State Farm, and then Jake Farm took his job,
Yeah.
and then but he's still a 5-star. So you figure he'd go anywhere and you can plug and play. He went out to Washington and he just kind of, I mean, he had a decent career at Washington, but
Right.
he didn't, as Cedric the Entertainer said, his curl didn't quite curl all the way around. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah,
So
juice wasn't worth the squeeze, kind of thing. But
right.
yeah, it just but that begs the question: what kind of weight do these star ratings hold on these players? I mean, now you got to take into account injury, that kind of stuff, and then you talk about these 5 stars getting these NIL deals because of how they're ranked. I mean, are they getting these deals because they're 5 stars? I mean, you got to take into account all this kind of stuff, And case in point, you said Eason, and JT. So I mean, just begs the question. But I don't know, it'd be interesting. And all this is speculation. I mean, we're all talking right way before the season starts, and we won't, like you said, pad on pad. Then we'll have a little better idea.
I am with you 100%. Hang on a second. I'm about to do something here. Y'all bear with me, ladies and gentlemen. Sometimes we improvisation is called for in this field when you podcast, and sometimes you'll have a script and you have to go off script a little bit. So y'all bear with me a second. If I can get this thing to do what it is that I'm trying to get it to do, then maybe we will do what I'm trying to
What we
do,
need to do.
what we need to do.
There we go. We're gonna do what we're gonna do, Justin Wilson. This is what we're gonna do.
Yeah, no. So while we're doing that, so as not to have any dead air, once again, ladies and gentlemen, I lost you on the video there. There you are. Thank you all for joining us for this week's episode of This Week in SEC Football. Mr. Fingaz, Collin P. He does raise a good point. Sean does. He says they did lose their defensive coordinator, who is now at Duke. So one thing that we do know is that they had the 14th ranked defense last year.
Mm.
Okay. They had the 14th ranked defense in college football, not the SEC, because that would be bad. Because last year, there were 14 teams last year. That would be pretty bad. They were 14, only allowed
Yeah,
19 offensive touchdowns and 327 yards per game. So that will, we will definitely see. Will we see a progression? Will we see a regression? Who
they will
knows?
take a step back, like we've been told.
I love this guy. I love him to death. Mr. Sean Spencer in there. That's our guy. Look, man, we're gonna make you the teleprompter guy. I'm gonna have you look. Sean, I'm gonna make you know how the guys have the things in their ear that look like the Secret Service with the little with the telephone, old school telephone cable down the
Oh yeah.
back of their shirt. And we both of us gonna get a thing. We just gonna wear it in our ear like an on stage music monitor, and then Sean will just be in our ear, be like, tell him about the gun line, boss. Tell him about the gun line.
That's a good point.
So
Did he say
yeah.
who the defensive coordinator was? I think that's what is that what he said, DJ?
DJ Durkin.
Okay.
DJ Durkin. So he transformed the defense from terrible in 2020 to a legitimate 10-win team. And that was, Ole Miss last year. And
Yeah.
that, of course, with with the offensive, well, I want to say offensive juggernaut, but with Matt Corral, we call it what it is. With Matt Corral doing what he was doing and the defense doing what they were doing. I mean, they were they weren't that far off from shaking up the SEC West last year. But of course, Auburn wasn't either. So now what we got, they started camp last Tuesday. Jimbo Fisher's fifth year. They got a lot of starters replaced from last season. The biggest question, of course, being they've got Haynes King back, but they also have Max Johnson transferring in from LSU. And then they've got Connor Wegman and Eli Stowers also sitting on the depth chart. So, and I'm pulling up the depth chart here. So right now, Haynes King, he's a sophomore. He played behind Calzada. And then we have Max Johnson, who's a transfer in, and then we got Connor Welkman. So that's a big question mark. Now, last year, Haynes King 22, 35, 300 yards, 62.9% completion with 8.6. That's a pretty good average. 8.6 yards per pass. His longest was a 53-yarder. 2 touchdowns, 3 interceptions, sacked twice. He's had a rating of 136.36. So, right now on paper, he's looking like the best candidate for the job to step up to the mic and replace Zach Calzada. Zach Calzada at running back. Let's see who we got at running back on the depth chart here. Zigga zagga 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 ah. So they lost Isaiah Spiller to the draft. We got Devon Akane and Amari Daniels, who, as you can imagine, saw a little bit of playing time. Devin. I'm sorry, not Devon. Devin Akane, 910 yards on 130 carries. He averaged 7 yards a carry, 9 touchdowns. Not bad. Didn't score a lot of touchdowns, but he was able to make that yardage when it counted. And now, as far as that is concerned, rolling over to the offense, they had the 71st ranked offense. That was one of the biggest things. Because Zach Calzada, um, you know, most of the upper tier quarterbacks in the conference were throwing for over 3,000 yards. Zach Calzada managed. Yes, I agree with you there, Sean. He is a monster. Um, he is definitely a monster. Uh, this is where they have to pick up the slack here. They're going to have to make sure that they do everything they can to maintain what the defense was able to do last year. I mean, 327 yards a game. That might, in a college game, that might seem like a lot, but then you think about that. If your quarterback
Yeah.
threw for a couple hundred, that means you're only getting maybe 100 yards on the ground. And if you don't have a standout running back, that means you're kind of dinking and dunking and running back by committee.
Right.
So the defense was solid. Their defense was very solid last year. So
Mm-hmm.
if Duncan, Dinkin, I said Dinkin and Duncan, and they got a D coordinator named Durkin. So instead of Dinkin and Duncan, they'll be Dinkin and Durkin. So if DJ Durkin can keep the defense up to par, then they got to get the offense up. They got to get that offense up to par. They were only averaging 5.96 yards per play. Now they did score 36 touchdowns and 300. They only averaged 70 more yards per game than their defense was holding their opponents to. And now
Yeah.
that's a tell.
Absolutely.
That's a tell.
It all boils down to the defense can hold them and keep their offense off the field. The offense has got to be able to capitalize on the amount of stopping the defense does. So I mean, that sounds like they need their offense needs to step it up, like you said. They're going to be able to just go put points on the board, basically.
Yeah, you have to be able to put points on the board because if you can't put points, we have found out in the SEC one or two things. If you can't put points on the board, your defense has got to be top tier, not just at the close to the top tier. If you can't put points on the board, I mean, I'm happy at the fact that Georgia won the national championship, but we got to call a spade a spade. There were some games where specifically the Clemson game. Now, granted, we controlled the tempo of that game because the defense shut Clemson's offense down. But the defense doing what they did was what allowed the offense enough time to get that score, to get the go-ahead score. So if your offense is not hitting on all cylinders, your defense has to. If your defense is not hitting on all cylinders, your offense has to be. They got to do better than 71st.
Well, if your offense is actually able to move the ball down the field, that gives your defense a time to rest. I mean, and your defense not hands on the hips, and just run down the field. But that gives their defense time to rest.
It does. I don't know. That defense last year was something special, though. This isn't about Georgia, but I just got to say that defense last year was something special. Those guys just seemed like they had limitless wind. Like I rarely saw. Now, granted, the camera wasn't necessarily on them all the time. The only time I ever saw the defense look gas was when they played Alabama.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
I mean, those guys all over the field, 6, 7 guys to the ball at a time. That kind of thing. Speaking of, side note, Big Baby is tearing it up in Philly camp. He's tossing boys around like rag dolls. And we go come back. We back to this now. I'm not gonna get all off on a tangent on the University of Georgia. They do have quite a few freshmen on the defense this year, but those guys are like second and third tier on the depth chart. Lucas Anthony, Nolan Walter, Stuart Shamar. I mean, they got some work to do because, well, actually, it looks like they might have this squad together for a little while longer because the bulk of these guys, their starting defense by their depth chart, are mostly sophomores and juniors and a couple of freshmen. They got a couple of seniors, so chances are pretty good they're gonna have most of their defensive unit coming back next year. And if the coaching staff remains intact and nobody on Jimbo's team reads any unallowable words out loud, then DJ Durkin could definitely turn that.
Yeah, I wonder if they're going to have another scheme. I guess every coach has their own scheme as far as defense and offense. But I mean, it just depends on. I mean, I just wonder how much deviation it is from the current scheme they had going on last year. But
Yeah.
it all depends on what they buy into,
And solid point. Jimbo Fisher's a solid. Jimbo Fisher's no slouch of a coach.
Yeah.
Jimbo Fisher did something that no other coach has been able to do, and that's win a championship with Jameis Winston as his quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
And up until this season, Jimbo Fisher did something that no other coach has done from the coaching tree, is beat Nick Saban. Now, of course, the national championship with Georgia, but so Jimbo's no slouch of a coach. He might talk a little bit. He might talk a little bit more than he should, but he's no slouch at coach. Let's get into some of these comments here. So whoever starts at quarterback can hold down the offense. The D will hold his own. I said some of these comments, like we're getting multiple comments from multiple people. It's all Sean. It's all Sean Spencer. All Sean Spencer all the time. If you guys are watching, drop us something in the comments. Oh, that's right. I forgot. I forgot. I think you have to pay for the premium plan to be able to see the comments on Facebook, which really grinds my gears because for what I'm paying a month, I should be able to see all the comments. Now, shouldn't we? But we're not going to talk about that right now. Oh, we got some comments coming in. For those of you that are watching on Facebook, all we know right now that this is the place to be. Can't wait till October 8th till it's Jimbo's going to Knicks. That's from Kyle Yacy. Then we have Ben Cornett with can't wait till October 8th when it's Jimbo going to Knicks house. That's prime time. That's got prime time written all over it, especially with the comments by both guys during the spring. Oh, you definitely know. If it gets to the point when they play Bama, which is in week 6 of the season, when they play Bama, that's going to be a primetime game, especially if thank you, Sean. Appreciate it. I saw you. I got you. I thought we on the same wavelength there, Mr. Spencer. But yes, if they both roll in after 6 games with 4 wins or better, God help it if they're both undefeated, that's gonna be something to see.
Oh yeah, where's that game? Well, I don't even know where that game's at.
That game is at Bryant Denny.
Oh, really? So the
Aggies are playing at Bryant Denny. No, the A&M is going to Alabama.
Oh yeah, I'm sorry. Bryant Denny. All right. Wow.
The house,
that's gonna be
the house that Saban built. For sure. So let's see what we got going on here. Ladies and gentlemen, looks like this right here is the perfect time to take another brief pause for the cause. Like I mentioned, we are part of the Let's Talk Football family of podcasts. There is a veritable cornucopia, a plethora. For those of y'all not following, that means a whole lot of shows that are part of the Let's Talk family football. Let's Talk family. I did it again. It's the second time. Oh, air horn for Mr. Air horn for Mr. Fingaz with the flub. That's the new thing on the show. When I flub something, I'm supposed to give myself the air horn from the Let's Talk Football family of shows. You guys hang tight. We're going to give you a little litany. That means a list for those of you. God, what is wrong with me, man? What's going on, bro? What is really going on? Y'all just hang tight and watch where to find it.
Dude, I think you just want to hear that. No, I want to hear that horn. You just want to hear that horn all the time.
There we go. Y'all hang tight. We're going to show y'all where to catch the shows. We'll be right back.
Yeah.
There you go, ladies and gentlemen. That's the list. I told you there was a lot of them, and every single one of them is absolutely awesome. And those of you that are watching chose to join us today. We are so very happy that you are here with us today. We appreciate you. This week in SEC football, Mr. Fingers, the brother from another Collin P from the DMV. Hey, Collin, I think here is a good time to pull the names. What do you say? We're gonna go ahead and pull these names because we're gonna get back into this, and I will wind up forgetting to pull the names. So for those of you that are watching right now, we had a sweepstakes through Zagnif Apparel. Oops, I dropped one. We had a sweepstakes through Zagnif Apparel. And what happened is all you had to do was go to the website. We will hold another one in the fall because everybody's going to be looking for warm stuff, the hoodies and leggings and long sleeve shirts. All you had to do was go to the website and buy anything on the website. Anything. Phone cases. I've got phone cases, by the way, also. Their signature, and they come with the white signature and the black signature. So for those of you that have dark colored phones, the signature will still show up. We had mouse pads. We had snapback caps like these. Or you could go for the big dollar items if you want to. I think the biggest dollar item we have is a bomber jacket with the logo on it. Anything from the website that automatically enters you into a drawing, which we are having today. And the person whose name that comes out of here will win themselves a free top and a free bottom. That means they can get a hoodie and a pair of leggings. They can get a crop top and a pair of yoga shorts. They can work that out any way they want to. Like I said, we had one person enter the sweepstakes all this time up until I had one order come in on Saturday and one order come in on Sunday. So I got these three names. Let me fold them up a little tighter because I don't want to see the names. I'm going to shake it just a little bit more. And if you guys are interested right now in picking up anything, go to zagnifappareldesign.com, www. Okay. And the names are all shook. I can't shake them up much more than that. There's only three names. So I just wanted to be able to get the plug out. All right. So, Collin, I got them. As you can see, I'm going to put them in here just like this. I don't know if you can see that. They're in there, and that's 1, 2, and 3. 1 is closest to the brim, and 3 is over here by my hand. So 1 is here, 1 is here, and 3 is here. Give me a number between 1 and 3. It's only 3 of them, man. You think it too hard. What, the one in the middle? Are you muted? Or did you not say anything? Well, he said take the one in the middle while he's figuring that out. And the winner of the sweepstakes getting themselves a free top and a free bottom, ladies and gentlemen, boys, for Miss Ash Swinton. Miss Ash Swinton has won herself a free top and a free bottom. Ash, thank you so much for being a faithful customer of a Zagnif Apparel Design. Say something, man. Let me see if we got you back. Tell you what, why don't you back out and come back in? I'll hold it down until you get back. I don't know what's going on with your sound right now. There we go. Yeah, something happened. We lost your sound. We'll get Collin back in just a minute. Anyway, thank you so much, Ash. We appreciate you for being a faithful customer of Zagnif Apparel Design. This week in SEC football, I am Mr. Fingers, the brother from another Collin P from the DMV. We'll be right back. We lost his sound. We don't know what's going on there, but we'll get him right back. Yeah, and the answer to yes, I agree with you, Sean. There, Texas A&M, if they have a solid quarterback, they could make that happen. I agree with you, because we know. All right, there we go. I can hear you already. I can
How
hear the
about now?
background noise. Yeah, now there we go. So, Bryce Young, we know what Bryce Young can do, but we also know that if you force Bryce Young to his right, sometimes bad things happen.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, then too, if you force him to his left, sometimes good things happen for the other team, like Third and Ringo.
Yep.
So yeah, so we have to see what Zach Calzada brings to the table. That's what we got. So we're at about the point in the show where we're gonna keep this thing moving along here. We're gonna get into their schedule. And Mr. Spencer, if you're still watching the show, I'm gonna need to pick your brain after all is said and done. So don't go far. So we're getting ready to get into the part where we go through the schedule, and we have a lot of fun with this. Collin and I are kind of running neck and neck. We generally tend to pick the same record, maybe not the same win-loss record. Meanwhile, Sean and Nate they are totally diametrically on the opposite end of the spectrum of some of the stuff that we pick.
Yeah.
But we're getting ready to get into our picks. So if you have been watching, all right, we got week 1 here. Week 1, they welcome Sam Houston. That's a win.
Absolutely. All day.
All right. Week 2, and you guys are more than welcome to chime in the comments and give us your 2 cents and let us know what you think as well. So week two sounds like somebody's doing some construction in the next room over. Week 2, they are facing off against Appalachian State at home. I'm not even going to go there. Appalachian State is that team that will get a sneaky win every year.
Yeah.
But I'm not even going to go there. I think A&M is too good to get got.
Yeah.
I'll go ahead and put Sean in there. Sean gives them a W. So I got win against App State. You say win also?
Yes, sir. So they're halfway to the 4 wins.
All right. Next week, they square off against Miami.
Ooh.
There's a whole lot of talk about what Miami's going to do this season, but Miami is still kind of rebuilding. They got the new coach. I think Mario Cristobal is a great coach. I think he will be able to motivate Miami to do great things. I don't think this is the year that I think they will get somebody, but I don't think they'll get a near top tier somebody. I won't put A&M in the top tier. A&M has top tier talent, but I won't put them there.
Right. Yeah, I'm on the same space. They got top tier talent, but not quite there. They're on the cusp. But I don't think. Yeah, I think Jimbo's going to let Miami, sneak in and get that. So A&M win.
Yeah. So I got to win. You got to win. Sean says that Appalachian State might take them to give them a run, and that's the truth. I agree with that. Appalachian State for the last, I'll say, 10 years has been that team that is notorious for. We want to play you because you're a group of 5. We'll play you. But don't take Appalachian State lightly. Do not take Appalachian State lightly at all.
I think a lot of teams do that. A lot of teams take them lightly and they end up getting closer than they want to be.
Yeah. Mr. Spencer, we're waiting on your decision on the Miami game, sir. Collin and I both have a W there. So we're going to keep this moving. Sean will catch up there. I'll be watching the comments for his response. The next game is Arkansas.
Ooh.
I say that's a win. I say it's you giving. Wait a minute. Hold on. You're saying, wait a minute. Sean Spencer, did you mean to tell me you going to sit there and watch this show and tell me you think Mario Cristobal is going to hand Jimbo Fisher the first L of the year? Don't nobody hand out no L's except Uncle Shay Shay, and they come out fresh and hot on the plate. Oh, so he's giving A&M the loss to Appalachian State and the win against Miami. Okay, now I'm following you. Now we're tracking. I say this one's going to be a little bit of a scrap, but I'm giving A&M the edge over Arkansas.
Yeah, I agree with that because I think, like I said, I think A&M is going to be the number 2 team in the West. This win will give them that W.
I'm just making sure that's South Carolina, that's Memphis, that's Kentucky. Okay, yep, got them all there. So I'm giving them the win against Arkansas. I'll wait for Sean to catch up. Next game, Mississippi State. We both gave them, we both said that Mississippi State was going to. I said they were going to lose. You said they were going to lose.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I meant, Sean. The W goes to Appalachian State. They'll lose to Miami.
That's what I thought he said. Yeah, I thought that's what he meant.
So they'll beat Appalachian State and they'll lose to Miami. Okay, I'll change that.
Mhm.
I'll go with that. If I got it wrong, hit me in the inbox later. Okay, give me your pick for Arkansas.
Kansas.
Mississippi State, you and I both had them winning. I'm back checking my stuff so I don't cross pollinate.
Yeah.
Yeah, so Sean, when you type your things in the comments, let me know who the opponent is and who you think is gonna who in okay. So let me know who the opposing team is and if you think that A&M will beat that team. It's kind of hard to follow in the comments like that. All right, against Bama. Whew. You think they can do it?
Well,
You think they can do it 2 years in a row? Because they're going to be at Bryant and Denny this year.
I don't think so. I think Bama's got too much. They got too much steam in that engine. They're gonna roll over some people. And I'm gonna give
Sean's
a loss.
already said that's an L. Sean's already said that's an
That's
L.
definitely an L. That's an L
I'm
for
going
me.
to go with the L. I don't think you're going to beat them twice. I mean, the only way I see them beating them twice is if they played them in College Station twice, but that's not happening. They're playing at Bryant Denny, which is without doubt one of the hardest places to play, period. Not just in the SEC. It's one of the hardest places to play, period. I
Yeah.
would give that to hardest places to play. I would give that to Alabama, LSU.
Yeah.
Alabama and LSU's LSU fans get out of their minds. South Carolina's kind of getting there.
Yeah.
They're not quite there yet. And of course, Sanford Stadium.
I was gonna say Athens.
Of course,
Ain't no,
Sanford
it's
Stadium.
especially when they turn that thing red. They start turning the stadium red. Man, it's loud.
Oh, the red lights. Yes,
That's right.
absolutely. That's a bold prediction there, sir, that next year the A&M will catch Alabama. Those of you that are watching on the Facebook, thank you for tuning in. Hi, how are you? Welcome to This Week in SEC Football. We're going through the schedules right now for Texas A&M. Right now, we're trying to see who we have on record. We had South Carolina. They're playing South Carolina. South Carolina is playing Texas A&M. We had South Carolina losing to Texas A&M. So that means that we're going to give Texas A&M the W across the board.
Yep.
Sean will catch up. The following week is Ole Miss. I'm going to go with based on what I know, I'm going with the loss. I'll have to go back and check. I'm going to put an L there. I may wind up having to change that back to I'm sorry. I'm going with a win.
Yeah.
I'm going with the win for A&M on that one.
Mm-hmm.
And you going with the win?
Going with the win.
All right. So the following week is Florida.
Oh man,
that's another win.
Yeah, I don't think Florida's quite there yet.
It's looking kind of dangerous over here, bro. It's looking real dangerous right now because we are 9 weeks in, and between the three of us,
one loss.
The most losses they have is 2.
Mm-hmm.
This looking kind of dangerous over here. Looking real dangerous. So Sean's going to give us the Ole Miss, and Sean's going to give us Florida. Auburn, I had where's my Auburn sheet? There's my Auburn sheet. I had Auburn losing to Texas A&M, so that was a win, and you had them winning also. So we both had.
I got you.
We both had Auburn losing. So Sean to catch up on that one. Sean says Florida will make it a game, but the Aggies win. He said they'll beat Ole Miss. UMass, that's a win.
That's definitely a win.
And then they close the season out with LSU.
Whew.
I'm not ready for that one yet. I don't know. What do you know what?
I mean, you got that Coach O situation. You don't know how they're going to come out. And,
Well, they don't have Coach O. They got Coach Kelly.
No,
they got Brian Kelly down there.
I know, but I mean, it's just the coaching change is what I'm talking about,
I
mean, Kelly came in and it all amounts to if he's got them boys ready to play, they buy it into the system, and which I think they probably will. I mean, honestly, now that I think about it, it might be a close game, but I'm still.
I think the game to watch behind Alabama, the Alabama game, is going to be the LSU game.
I think so too.
Because something tells me that if this schedule goes the way I think it goes, somebody's going to ding Alabama upside the head. They might not beat them, but they're going to ding them upside the head this
Don't hurt
season.
their feelings.
And that's going to put some things in question that may knock them off the perch. You know what I mean? Because right now, matter of fact, I think the preseason poll right now, Alabama's number 2. I think it's Ohio State, Alabama, Georgia in that order.
No, it's Alabama,
So,
Ohio State, Georgia.
Well, I was looking at a different. There must be one I saw that was different because it was flip Ohio State and Alabama.
Yeah,
So let's just say Ohio State starts out at the top, and Alabama's chasing. Everybody's got to win at this point. Everybody's got to win to stay in the top 4. Somebody dings Alabama upside the head. They're the number 2 team in the country, and they get dinged up real good. That may cost them a ranking, especially if Georgia's chasing. They have a win over a Kentucky or over, say, an improved Florida, things like that, like the team that's on the come up. So with that could be the shakeup. This game could definitely be the shakeup that makes the difference between who wins the SEC West. Yeah. And I am going to go ahead and step out on a limb, and I'm going to say that the Aggies are going to close it out with a W against the Tigers of LSU.
Yeah. So that leaves them.
I think Brian Kelly's going to do some good things at LSU. I think he needs another year. I could be wrong, but you think about it. All these coaches that came in and improved these programs, they didn't get better overnight. It took Kirby had a 6 or 7 win season his first season. Mm-hmm. Nick Saban had I think he had a 7 or 8 win season his first season in Alabama. So I'm giving that W to LSU. What about you?
Oh, you're giving it to LSU.
I'm giving a W to Texas A&M. My bad.
Yeah. No, I'm A&M because like I said, it's going to be a close game, and you're talking about Brian Kelly. I mean, like he's a seasoned coach. You know, he's not an assistant coach. Feeling or coming to a head coach role. So he's a head coach going to head coach lateral move. So it all amounts to if he's got these kids ready to play or buying into the system and got them hyped up. I think they could win that game. I think it's going to be close, but I think A&M is going to pull out.
And you just said a mouthful right there, sir. You know what? I caught myself getting ready to say absolutely. I don't think I've said that the entire show except for right now. That gets an air horn, ladies and gentlemen. Shout out to yours truly, giving myself a shout out for not dropping but one of the catchphrase once tonight. I almost said it again. I caught myself. There's another air horn right there. So, Mr. Spencer, I need your picks for the Auburn game, the UMass game, the LSU game. I don't want to be assumptive, but I'm pretty sure I'm thinking you're going to go with Texas A&M against UMass, and then he'll give us his picks for his other games. But so far, that's crazy, dude. I've got Texas A&M going 11-1.
So do I.
You have Texas A&M going 11-1. Mm-hmm. Sean right now has them at 7-2. 1, 2, 3, 3.
Yeah, 3.
6, 9. So he's got him at 7-2, and if he picks him like I think he picks him, he's probably the only 2 losses they have.
Yeah.
So between all 3 of us, I'll wait for Sean to catch up. He's at work right now, so he might have to come back and catch up. Yeah. But he'll add them later. So that's what we got right there, ladies and gentlemen. That's pretty impressive. Jimbo Fisher is a good coach. He had a great season recruiting in the offseason. He's been recruiting like crazy right now for 2023. Mm-hmm. The class of 2023 is starting to look really impressive. He's got a new defensive coordinator in DJ Durkin.
Yep.
He's got not Zach Calzada. Good Lord. Okay. Mr. Fingaz misspoke. There's another horn right there.
And he's got Saban talking back. Like Saban's never been talking back.
Yeah, and then he's got the whole smack talk with Nick Saban. Like seriously, that's dangerous, dude. Think about
he's
that.
He's responding.
That is dangerous. 11-1 is good enough to win the West.
Oh yeah.
I'm making this prediction. 11-1 will be good enough to win the West.
Yeah. Provided that
here's the kicker though. Here's the kicker though. We gave them the loss against Alabama, so that means that Alabama's got to lose 2 games. So are we saying that Alabama's going to lose 2 games this season potentially?
I mean, they could. I'm
And
not
then
saying that.
knowing and watch this. Knowing how we know the committee, could you see people's heads explode if 3 SEC teams made it into the college football playoffs?
Oh yeah.
Watch this. Think about this. Here's the scenario. Georgia runs the table. Alabama runs the table. Texas A&M finishes 11-1 and plays Alabama real close in Bryant Denny Stadium. Like
Mm-hmm.
it's a single digit win, like a 3-point, a 2-point win.
Mm-hmm.
You dig what I'm saying?
Yep.
Like they had to score in the final seconds to win by 1 or 2 points.
Yep.
And then you've got Ohio State, and then you've got, and they finished 1-2-3. Now, mind you, that means somebody's got to lose the conference. No, I take that back. This is what'll be the equalizer. This year the conference championship will be the great equalizer.
Mm-hmm.
But if Texas A&M goes 11-1 and that means somebody's got to lose. If Georgia's the top in the West, Georgia's the top in the East, Alabama's the top in the West, somebody's got to lose. Whoever loses the conference championship ain't getting in.
Ain't getting
and
in.
Then again, they might. And then again, they might. Could you see that Georgia beats Alabama for the conference championship to complete the ring, to complete the circle of life, and then Alabama still sneaks in the back door. So then it's Alabama. So the 3 teams are Alabama, and Texas A&M, and Georgia. People would lose their ever-loving minds. Huh?
Alabama's gonna be in the conversation anyway. So I mean, provided they don't have 2 losses, I mean, like they'll put Alabama in with 1 loss.
But dude, Alabama got in with 2 losses. Alabama got in with was it 2 losses or 1 loss? 2017.
1 loss.
It was just 1 loss. Oh, okay.
It was just 1 loss. We didn't get in because we had 2 losses. That's why.
We got in. We got in because remember we beat Oklahoma to get to the national championship.
That was 2000. What? That wasn't 2017. That was.
We beat Auburn. That's what it was. We beat Auburn to win the conference, and then Bama still wound up getting in the championship.
Mm-hmm. You're exactly right. Yep. Because we played Auburn for the championship. Yeah, we lost to Auburn. Got mollywopped and just smoked by them during the regular season. And then we, came back and got a little bit of, payback. But yeah, and we beat them in the SEC championship.
So that's dangerous, dude. I mean, I'm looking at this. I'm getting kind of hyped.
There's a conversation with the expanding the playoff system, the 16 teams or whatever. I mean, yeah, there's going to be.
I'm telling you that. I'm telling you, nothing would make people's heads explode more than if 3 SEC teams made it into the college football playoff. Because let's be real. Let's be real. What team from the Pac-12 you think is going to run the table?
No.
I mean, USC is going to get handed at least 1 loss. They might lose 2. You know what I mean? And everybody's they're gonna run the table, they're gonna be the national champions. I don't think they're making the national championship this year.
No.
They need at least another year to gel.
Absolutely.
And he's got Caleb and Riley has Caleb Williams for another season after this one because he was a true freshman last year.
Mm-hmm.
So they're gonna lose at least 1. I don't think anybody in the Big 12 comes out unscathed this season. I don't think a single team in the Big 12 doesn't come out without a loss.
Right.
And between Ohio State and Michigan, one of the 2 of them is going to have a loss or 2.
Yeah.
So the only other conference I could think of, and we forgot to mention this conference, the ACC and Clemson, because Clemson is the unknown variable.
Right.
But could you see that, man, dude? 3 teams from the SEC in the CFP, that they would hurry up. The committee would be meeting right after Selection Sunday. The committee would be meeting that night. They would get together that night and unanimously vote to expand the playoffs.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that phone would be hot. That phone would be ringing off the hook. We got to change it.
No doubt, bro.
But yeah,
no doubt, bro.
That's been the conversation all along. I mean, like the SEC is. I mean, it's been that way for the past couple of years. Like Alabama's been in there. We snuck in every now and then. Then you had a couple of teams that right there on the cusp of getting in. So I mean, it's always SEC knocking on the door for playoffs.
Always. Always 100%. It's like Bama's in there every other year. We've had 2 appearances in the last 4 years. LSU's been in it. Uh,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. There's several. I mean, like I don't know what half the teams in the SEC have actually been in the playoffs or actually won the championship. You know.
Like if you want to go all the way back to, if you want to go back to when Urban Meyer was still a coach in the SEC, you had Auburn won a national championship. You had
Yep.
Florida won a national championship.
Yep.
You
That was
had the Tennessee, I think, got one. Did they not? Was it 97?
when Peyton was there. Yeah, I think they
Yeah,
did.
so they got one. Georgia got one. Alabama got six. LSU got one. I mean, Ole Miss looked like they were going to have a chance to at least play for one.
Yeah.
The way that these teams were at, God, people would lose their ever loving minds, dude. That would just be that, bro. That would be the absolute madness. Three
I would be
SEC teams
laughing
in the
though.
college football playoff,
Yeah.
and the fact that I know we're just two guys talking on a podcast, but ladies and gentlemen, this right here, this is not an impossible scenario that
Yeah.
A&M could go on a 6-game win streak, lose
Mhm.
one, and then turn around and go on a 5-game win streak. It's not impossible.
No.
Absolutely not. Well, having said that, we're gonna move on. We're gonna keep it moving here. We're gonna move on to our final segment of the show. It's the one that it's where we sit back, we kind of put our thinking caps on, and just a little something to give you to think about, during your week, whether it be funny or whether it be moving or whether it be spiritual but not religious. I have to put that disclaimer in there. Whether it be spiritual but not religious, it just give you a little something to think on. Um, our 2-minute warning. So for our 2-minute warning, I'll go first. I think I handed it off on you last week. Hi, Ash. Ash Winton is watching. By the way, Ash, congratulations once again. Ash Winton, our winner of the win a pair of tops and bottoms. Okay, Mr. Fingers with the flow. My God, I'm seriously thinking about hiring a speech coach, man. I can talk all day long, but then I get on this podcast and just so Ash has won one free top and one free bottom. Congratulations. Thank you so much. Put it in the book. Bet it. There it is. That she said that yesterday. That's a new clip. I'm gonna add that to the show. I thought it was pretty
Gotcha.
funny.
Yeah.
Anyway,
I need to find me something else to say.
yeah. So our 2-minute warning. I'm gonna go first today. If you have people around you that have a lot of my things are about appreciation because I'm really big on that. If you have someone around you that has a talent and you know that they have a talent, show them some love for the talents that they have. Um, we are we here at the Let's Talk Football family are very blessed that we have a very large group of people. Like, I don't know if you watched the different clips of the shows that are part of the Let's Talk Football family and the extended family. We have a good group of 20 some odd, I think, people that is like a built-in audience, and we watch each other's shows and we give each other constructive criticism, and we hype each other up, and we that's what we do. And sometimes we have to serve as the voice of encouragement for some of our folks. We've had some folks that have been like, why am I doing this? What am I doing this for? Am I doing this? Is this something that's even worth even doing? And we've circled the wagons and shored them up and said, listen, there's absolutely a reason why you're doing this. You're the reason why we get up on Sunday morning, or we stay up late on Mondays just to watch your show, or we make sure that we go back and watch the replay like DVR to make sure that we didn't miss anything, because we know there's always going to be something on. So if you have somebody in your life that that has a talent, make sure that you let those people know that their talents are appreciated, and show them the same love. There's nothing to me that's part of the reason why I have the Indiana Science show. I run across people from all walks of life that do all different sorts of things. The singers, that are dancers, that are authors. I'm getting ready to have a book author on my next show next week. Spoken word people, and these folks are exceptionally talented in their music and their craft. They're very good at their craft, and they get nowhere near the type of love that I'm not going to mention any names. I'm not going to mention any names in the business right now just because I don't want somebody saying, oh, Mr. Fingers is going in on somebody. I'm not going in on anybody, but some of these same people that I have interviewed have just as much talent as the musicians you listen to on the radio, are just as funny as the stand-up comedians, or funnier than the stand-up comedians you see on some of these Netflix specials. They are exceptionally gifted at whatever it is that they do. And their friends know that's what they do, and they kind of, yeah, how's your little thing going, blah blah blah, but they don't really show them that love. So, and by the way, this is not a zing, okay? For those of you that are watching, we appreciate you. I'm not complaining about it at all. Collin and I do this because we love to do it. We hope to make some money doing it. Oh, by the way, if you want to be a supporter, why don't you go right to the hide that hide doggone it, it won't hide. There it is, right there in the bottom left-hand corner, the Patreon page. We have a $1 tier, ladies and gentlemen. It used to be a $15 tier. We got a $1 tier for 12 whole dollars for a whole year, which is just as much money as you spend on a value meal at McDonald's. And it hurts my heart to say that. For what you spend for a value meal at McDonald's, you can be a sponsor of this show and contribute to the giveaways and the things that we have, because whatever we bring in, it's basically cash in, cash out. Money comes in, we pay for the subscription for the streaming. Money comes in, we pay for blah blah blah. The money comes in for the apparel, we pay for that, and then whatever pennies we got left, we roll that over into something else. So yeah, it pretty much is. We're not getting rich off of this. I know you think we might be, but we're not. We don't have those kind of resources. But make sure that you pour into what your less famous friends are doing, as well as showing all the love to the folks that are far more advanced in their stage and in their stages of their career. And that's all I got for my 2 minutes. 2 minute warning.
All right, man. So I like to piggyback. So here I'm gonna kind of piggyback, but I'm not gonna jump on you back all the way. But it's just gonna be. I want to say step out your comfort zone. Like if you get a chance, step out of your comfort zone. Like if you were to talk to me, 5-10 years ago, and tell me that I'm gonna be on a podcast with you, I would say you're crazy. I wouldn't be the one to be in the front. Like even in my job, even at Nextel back in the day, I'd get kind of nervous, getting in front of people and talking. This has been, a godsend for me because it reconnected me with you and also to a lot of different walks of life. You said like different people with different interests and different cultures, different, stuff, which, me and you down from Georgia, I came up here, this is a culture. It's a melting pot of people from different places. So, I enjoy that. And I enjoy talking to different people, hearing different people's stories and different stories from different people and that kind of stuff. But, yeah, just step out. If you get a chance, it's going to be scary to step out of your comfort zone. You got to do it. And once you get through that door, and you'll realize what you did it for. It will be, you'll understand, the reason you did it, and it'll be fun. Like I'm saying, that I would never picture myself. I know we're, theoretically between me and you and talking, but we're, anybody can watch this, right? So I still kind of gives you a little bit of nervousness because like, what am I going to do when I do that? This, how I look, that kind of stuff. But yeah. Just step out. I never would have guessed myself would be on the podcast, but this has been a blast and a blessing to be with you and Sean and the rest of the Let's Talk Football crew. So I appreciate you guys.
100%. That gets an air horn right there. That's a whole bar. That's a bar from Collin P from the DMV. Hashtag bars with a Z, all the way spelled all the way out. BARZ. WIDDAZEE. Bars with a Z. That's right. I said it.
That's right. I said it.
I'm gonna let you in. I'm gonna tell you something. I don't know if I've ever told you this. I used to be afraid to sing in public.
Not that I didn't know that, but I can get it because I used to be scared to sing karaoke. And then I got up there and it's just like it is what it is. You kind of lose it after you do it so many times. You just kind of Doesn't matter. I mean, I've gone up there and I've bombed. Like I've been hammered. Go there, can't remember the words or anything. You've seen it, I'm sure. So I still go.
There might be more than you. But hold on.
Who was that? But
There might be more than not my time. But the chicks dig it. Hey, y'all, watch this.
Mm-hmm.
My man,
Picks
Collin
up three doors down and chicks dig it.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Well, yeah, I was afraid to sing in public. I would sing in the shower.
Yeah.
I would sing in the car.
Yeah.
I would sing in the choir and be
Sure.
in the background, not out front.
Yeah.
I was afraid to joke and be funny in front of people because people always like, you corny. You know what I'm saying? That like I was the corny nerdy kid. Like I couldn't ever be funny. And I didn't think I was funny.
Yeah.
And you know,
see, that's the thing is like what one person may not think is funny, somebody else thinks hilarious. So I mean, you can't run your life like on just one person's opinion. Like I mean, do what you do, man, because you never know who's gonna touch.
Right.
But I'm with you on the singing.
Right.
I mean, I sang choir, sang in the shower, sang in the car all the time. But yeah, first time I sang karaoke, I was at the Butterflies, almost threw up on whatever. I was just not having it. I was like, I can't do this. I can't do this. Get in there like halfway through the song, you're like, all right, I got this. Then you get that liquid courage in, and you're like,
oh man, especially you get a couple shots in you, and nothing make you think you can sing better than harder than alcohol. But peep this. I'm working on a new one for you. I might drop it when I get there.
All right.
I can swallow a bottle of alcohol and I feel like Godzilla. Yeah, I'm working on that one. Still, we might see. By the way, ladies and gentlemen, those of you that are watching in the DMV, today is the 8th, and 10, count them, 10, 9 plus 1, 12 minus 2. I will be in the DMV, in the building, in the place, in your face, with the brother from the base of Ace. And we will both be very happy to be here. I'll be in the DMV. You guys know I'm coming that way. For the Celebrate Fairfax Karaoke Championships. We'll be hosting that on Friday afternoon down in Tyson's Corner. We will be having an after party at the Old Shebeen in Old Town Fairfax, hosted by my homeboy Benji. I will be Thursday night. I'll be at the Backyard Grill in Chantilly. I forgot. I've been spitting it out. I've been spitting it out for the last several weeks. It's getting close to y'all. So yeah, in 10 days, I'll be there. So, and I'm gonna have a tight schedule. So meet me where I'm at. You're gonna have to meet me where I'm at. So
you got your flight information yet? You got all that?
Oh yeah, I've been having my flight information. I'll be
when you get in.
I get in Thursday afternoon. The only thing, I tried to get an early flight, bro. I tried, but the earliest I could get in was like 3:30-ish. So I'm thinking more like 3:45, 4 o'clock by the time we land. Yeah. And then I got to pick up the car and I got to fly into DC because there's no direct flights. The shortest layover I could get was 3 hours. I did not want to sit in somebody's airport for 3 hours.
I feel that.
They did away with the direct flights from here to Dulles.
No, I was gonna say, like, if you were coming to Dulles, then I'd come pick you up. But,
well, that would have been much appreciated, yeah. But I'm flying into DC, so that means that I got to fly into DC. I got to pick up my rental car from the airport. Then I got to fight DC traffic all the way to Fairfax during the middle of rush hour.
Yes, sir.
I am not looking forward to that, bro.
Nah, I don't blame you. I don't blame you at all. I've been enjoying working from home, man. I hate DC traffic. I hate the Beltway. I hate C6. I hate all that. It's just something that
I heard it has gotten horrendous. I've been going 4 years, and it was worse after 1 year. I heard it's gotten even worse in
they tried to fix it. When you go down 50, right? If you go down 28, where the old Neds was, you go down 28, 50, all that kind of stuff. They built a bunch of overpasses, and they got the metro going through there, and it looks nice. Don't get me wrong. But then they got
the problem with that is you got all those people. I mean, I can't floss on people if I can't drive my car to work. Oh my God, take public transportation? Are you kidding me?
Yeah, but they built overpasses and people can't merge. You know what I'm saying? They don't know what one in, one out. They don't know that. They say, put it in yield means stop to them. They just stop. They sit there.
Oh, they didn't build a diverging diamond like they did out in Gainesville.
No, no, I guess not. I mean,
That
it
would
looks.
have made so
You're
much
gonna
more
you're gonna
sense.
lose your mind though. 'Cause it looks different. It looks totally different. Tyson's looks different. You know the 2850. That looks different. You'll see all these overpasses. Kind of like Spaghetti Junction in Atlanta. They had something
Mm,
called Spaghetti Junction. Did all those overpasses.
mm. Yeah, well, I guess we'll see it. I guess we'll see it in a little more than a week and a half. So, having said that, ladies and gentlemen, this is a good place for us to stop. We do want to thank each and every one of you for tuning in. Those of you that dropped by, those of you that came by and hung out, those of you that dropped us a little something in the comments. We want to thank each and every one of you. Uh, as always, we want to thank our brother, our brother Sean Spencer, for holding it down in the comments because he definitely throws those comments out there. Much thanks
Things and
to Ben.
nuggets.
Yeah, also to our fellow Dirty Bird fan, Kyle Yacy from our neighbor up north, and Ben Cornett from the Bucks Report NFL edition. We appreciate y'all dropping by. We're going to get out of here. I think that after we'll talk after we get off. We'll talk after we get offline. So we're gonna get out of here. You guys hang tight. We will let you know when the next show will be. You all, until we see you again, have a great rest of your week. I am Mr. Fingaz. That is Colin P from the DMV, and we are OUWT out. Go Dogs.
And go dogs.